So I saw Jack Settleman tweet out about how the MVP debate is probably over and Josh Allen's most likely going to win. But the MVP debate is extremely nuanced this year and is much more nuanced than it was last year. You know, Lamar beat Josh Allen head-to-head, which voters take into account, but Josh Allen beat both number one seeds in both conferences. Currently, neither team are number one in power rankings, however. Lamar also lost to the Browns and the Raiders, but the Ravens' pass defense was on track to be one of the worst passing defenses in NFL history. It took having one of the worst defenses of all time for Lamar Jackson to lose a game. Or two. From weeks 1 through 10, they were one of the worst defenses in the NFL. The last 3 weeks, they've been pretty good, but that doesn't ignore the first 3 months of the year. And with recency bias and voter fatigue, he points out that Josh Allen will probably still win. Again, it's just kind of how it's going to be. But Lamar Jackson is having one of the most efficient quarterback seasons of all time, which is insane considering what 2019 Lamar Jackson was doing. And for context, 2024 Lamar Jackson is up there in the league leaders for passer rating all time, with Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning. That is extremely good company. And people will say that Lamar Jackson was undeserving of the MVP in 2023, and I disagree, not just because I'm a Ravens fan, but because the context around why he won MVP makes a lot of sense. Statistically, against teams with a winning record, he literally won every single game, which I personally don't think quarterback wins are a record or a valid stat, but statistically, he performed extremely well. I mean, he was literally first or second in every major category against winning teams. So when it mattered, Lamar Jackson played extremely well. Not only that, the Ravens offense in 2023, with a new offensive coordinator, were one of the most consistent offenses in the league, if not the most consistent. The worst game that Lamar Jackson had in 2023 was against the Steelers, in which the Ravens receivers dropped 8 to 9 passes. Multiple of those passes were for touchdowns. So, consistency matters. Lack of turnovers matter. Josh Allen was second in the NFL in total turnovers. And he was like second in the league in interceptions. That's not MVP caliber. I'm sorry. And offensive productivity matters. Now, the Bills and Ravens offenses in 2023 were very similar, but the team that scored more points were the Ravens, so points matter more than yards. And even currently, the Bills defense is still better by a decent margin than the Ravens defense. Even with the last few weeks of the Ravens defense stepping up, they're still 22nd in the league in points allowed. The Bills are 12th. Objectively speaking, one of the greatest quarterback seasons, or at least one of the most efficient quarterback seasons of all time, is going to not be worthy of an MVP because of narratives and because of this belief that Josh Allen was robbed in 2023, and that belief has carried over into 2024. By the way, Josh Allen finished in 5th place in voting. He received one first-place vote, which I think everyone kind of held on to, but realistically, if anyone wanted to argue who's the other MVP caliber guys, it was Dak Prescott and Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy. And then it was Josh Allen. Like, I've already accepted that Josh Allen's winning the MVP, but to say that a season like this that Lamar is having is undeserving because of factors outside of his control, such as his kicker having a historically bad year and his defense being historically bad for the first 2.5 to 3 months of the year, is a little unfair. Lamar Jackson has objectively been the best quarterback in the NFL in 2024 and will not win the MVP. And that is a true travesty.